live from virtual Lime Rock Park. I'm Rick James, and this is round 3 of DI9 Designs ARC's Mazda Mondays. The field filling up, everybody gritting, getting ready for the show. New follower Sam Roberts, the light's about to go, getting ready to go, racing, and the lights are off. We're racing at Lime Rock Park. Cody Pannell off to a fantastic start into turn number 1, and those Mazdas buzzing angrily into the first corner. Cody Pannell has the early lead. Then you've got Ryan Billy rounding out the top 5. Terry Gabbard has gone around behind them. There's the number 4 crash dummy car re-entering the track right in front of Tracy Pannell. 2 other cars go around. What is Gabbard possibly thinking coming onto a live start? Cody Pannell gets away. Caution number 1 is out. Tommy Reynolds sits in second, racing it back to the line. The number 7 MX-5 comes up behind the number 28 Red Bull MX-5. The Georgian will be first to the line. Tommy Reynolds is second. Tom Sears will be third across the line. Let's go back and see that first caution, starting with Terry Gabbard falling off the racetrack. Here's the number 4 already with trouble. Now you'll see Gabbard re-enter the racetrack, the live racetrack here, and smoke up ahead. Gabbard just trying to avoid the 44, and that's the 48 of Catania, and it looks like Gabbard just comes onto the track right in front of Tracy Pannell. 4 cars involved in this one. One more look. Let's ride around with the cockpit and see just how much control there was. And look at this, 2 more have gone around. That's Ryan Pannell in the 12, and that looks like the 45 of Patrick Allen, once again losing control and falling off the racetrack, riding along with Terry Gabbard. Here's another look at the crash. The 44 of Josh Garrison. There's Gabbard just coming back onto the racetrack a bit too eagerly. You see he tries to overcorrect by turning left, and the Ohio native piles up a couple of cars behind him, and then you've got the cars up ahead of, looks like Ryan Pannell in the 12, and that is indeed the local, the Connecticut driver right here from nearby Lakeville. Ryan Pannell in that 12 that goes around, and there's the heavy damage to the front of that crash test number 4, living up to the writing that's quite literally on the wall of the car. Back to live pictures. Cody Pannell, Tommy Reynolds, Tom Sears, your top 3. All the drivers involved in that accident coming down pit road. Here are the facts brought to you by DI9 Designs. Round 3 of 6 is what we're racing tonight at Lime Rock Park. The 1.5-mile circuit will see 35 laps of action. Drivers with only 2 fast repairs, so some of those drivers going to be using one of those 2 fast repairs in that most recent caution, and they have 3 sets of tires with which to enjoy tonight's 35 laps. They sure won't have enough fuel to go the distance. Drivers should be coming in sometime between 15 and 25 laps. Tizzy452 says standing start is BA. It is. It's a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. He also says, let's go Tristan. He's cheering for Tristan Catania in the number 48 Need for Speed Most Wanted liveried MX-5. I love the look of this car, I really do. Who doesn't remember Need for Speed Most Wanted? And if you haven't played it, watch a playthrough or something. It's one of the, personally, and maybe it's just because, you know, everybody looks at nostalgia with rose-tinted spectacles, but Need for Speed Most Wanted is one of those games that just lives up to that nostalgia, I think, and it's still as awesome now as it was. Even the detail on this car, it's got like chrome stripes on the side. You gotta admire that. lining up 2x2, 9 rows deep as the 18 cars get settled and get ready to go racing once again. Cody Pannell, Tommy Reynolds on the front row, Massachusetts, Tom Sears in third. Then you've got Jeremy Brio, the points leader, rolling in the fourth position. There are the DI9 design points. Brio leading by 1 solitary point over Dustin Painter. Painter not in tonight's lineup, so he's going to fall out of that spot, but race leader Cody Pannell sitting third in the running order. Then you've got DC, Derek Cook, who's sitting 15th out of 18 cars right now. DC sitting fourth in points with a 7-point grip over Tommy Withers, also not in tonight's lineup, so it's going to be a big shakeup of the points order tonight, and we're about to flip the switch and go racing one more time. Cody Pannell, Tommy Reynolds leading us down to the line. 5 laps about to be underway. Porsche 911 pace car peels off, waiting for the jump now. Listen to those buzzing hornets. We are racing again at Lime Rock Park. Cody Pannell with a tight hold on that lead. Tommy Reynolds trying to aggravate him any way he can. Reynolds looking for some sort of advantage. Everyone now up the big hill section, headed into the final 2 corners, aptly named West Bend and Downhill, leading onto the Sam Posey straight. There goes Reynolds trying it the hard way around the outside, headed into Downhill. But it's Cody Pannell leading onto the Sam Posey straight, headed into Big Bend. Then the aptly named left-hander and right-hander leading into No Name Straight, and then the uphill section once again. Cody Pannell has led every lap thus far, but the fastest lap of the show goes to one Ryan Billy, rocking the number 23 Red Bull machine, just ahead of points leader Jeremy Brio. Battle for the 11th position, talking about Patrick Allen, who's chasing down Tracy Pannell in the number 17 Red Bull car, and behind Patrick Allen it's D-Rob in the Monster Energy number 30 MX-5. Now into the downhill section, you're looking at 10th, 11th, and 12th respectively. Pannell, Allen, Roberts, all within 1/10 of a second from each other. Ryan Billy 3/10 of a second behind Tommy Reynolds, who now has the fastest lap of today's race. Tommy coming through with a 1 minute flat, 1 minute 0.75 seconds, the fastest lap. On the left-hand side, those are the individual drivers' best times thus far, and expect these times to get just a bit faster as the race goes on. Tracy Pannell now behind D-Rob and Patrick Allen. Pannell going off the track, and the number 17 Red Bull MX-5 looking for traction up the uphill section. From uphill, the short chute into West Bend, the New Jersey pilot Tristan Catania now working on Tracy Pannell. This the battle for 12th. Let's ride along now with the New Jersey pilot. Catania right now running 5th in points, tied with Tommy Withers, who's not here. So Catania certainly going to have sole control of 5th if he can stay in this running position. Catania only 7 points behind Derek Cook, who's running in position number 15, the number 38 wrestling-themed MX-5. 8 laps into this race, falling almost outside of contention. But Lakeview, Connecticut, Ryan Pannell on a homecoming tour. That number 12 Advance Auto ARCS Mazda MX-5 running 14th, chasing down Tracy Pannell, having a hard time in that Red Bull machine. At the front, change for the lead. Tommy Reynolds sends it deep into Cody Pannell, and the number 7 Viagra Mazda takes the point at Lime Rock. Mama Vols also in attendance tonight, one of the first to hit the chat. Hey Mama, how you doing? Glad to have you all here. Glad to have you here, Mama Vols. Send my love to the family. Tommy Reynolds leading, Cody Pannell sitting in second, Brio running in third. Ryan Billy 1.5 seconds back, and Jeremy Brio, the points leader, really hanging that car out on the racetrack. Who's that coming down pit road? Is that Ryan Billy? And that is substantial damage. Billy looks like he's missing a wheel. Or it's gone flat, a puncture, something's gone wrong with that number 23 Mazda. Randy Bousquet going off the track here recently. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Ryan Billy. Here's Jeremy Brio going around Ryan Billy. Something's going to happen to this 23 car headed up the hill. Possibly just trying to go too hard out of the corner through the uphill section. Billy's trying to make the move on Brio. No, this is the lap prior. No idea what happened to Ryan Billy, but he's dropped all the way down to 15th. But now look at this fight for first. 3 MX-5s going at it. Cody Pannell, Tommy Reynolds, Jeremy Brio running 1, 2, 3 with 25 laps to go at Lime Rock. Coming into this race, Cody Pannell sitting third in the point standings, only 6 points behind second place Dustin Painter, 7 points behind Jeremy Brio. Something's happened to Reynolds and Brio. They're not going up the hill. Reynolds using the escape road up the hill, and look at the advantage that Reynolds has now. Is that from the contact with Brio? Something has gone on between these two. Let's have a look. Fighting hard for the second spot. Brio gonna give a how you doing to Tommy Reynolds and send him up the access road. Something possibly may having to do with these two early on in the first corner. Let's have a look. No contact thus far, and it looks like Brio may have just lost control or missed his mark, but Cody Pannell sitting in the lead. Tommy Reynolds 1 1/3 seconds behind Jeremy Brio. Brio possibly letting off up the hill to give Reynolds the position back, but look who's lurking in the 4th position. Tom Sears, one of 2 K&N MX-5s, running in the 4th position ahead of new guy Kobe Roberts, also in the identical K&N car, but now John Honeybrink in the Home Depot number 20. Coming up the inside of that 22 Mazda, this is the fight for the 5th spot. Honeybrink looking to the inside, coming to 23 laps to go for both of these drivers. Randy Bousquet has gone off the racetrack in the number 29. Why So Serious Joker Mazda crashing right before the uphill section. Bousquet running 18th. Let's see what happened to old Randy. Bousquet already slow by this point. He went off the track earlier. Here comes Ryan Pannell coming around the driver of the 29. And Bousquet just coming to a halt right before the uphill section, possibly trying to give Pannell the space. And Bousquet continues to soldier on in that number 29 car. Cody Pannell now with his widest lead of the race so far. He's got a 1.6 second lead over Tommy Reynolds, and then it's Jeremy Brio in the McLaren liveried number 74 MX-5 closing that gap. He's 0.7 of a second behind Tommy Reynolds. Fight for the 8th position. You're looking at Tristan Catania in 9th. Patrick Allen in the 8th spot, now headed towards downhill. Back onto the Sam Posey straight with 22 laps to go. Drivers should have approximately about another 10 laps left in that tank. The race facts by DI9 Designs say it's an estimated 15 to 25 laps that these drivers can go. Well, they can go up to about 20 laps, 25 if they stretch it, but the pit window opens up with approximately 20 laps to go, so expect to see some Mazdas coming down, but the ones that came down after that lap 1 crash may prefer to stay out. The sun now setting over Lakeville, Connecticut. Patrick Allen holding off Tristan Catania for 8th, and Catania sends it in deep on the 45, and the 45 of Allen now using the access road. There is going, that looks like the 44 of Josh Garrison just getting some space back. What was Catania possibly thinking, sending it in deep onto the 45? Let's go back and see what was going through Tristan's head. Randy Bousquet's also crashed at this time, and there goes Tristan Catania possibly missing the mark. One more time, let's have a look, possibly just try to guess what might have happened. Catania may have gotten into the grass. Let's go back one more time and have just one more external look, and that's exactly what happened. Catania gets into the grass, and with these MX-5s, it acts like ice, missing the mark, slamming right into the 45 of Allen, and it cost Catania dearly. Randy Bousquet crashes Terry Gabbard coming off the track, but saving it, and the crash test Mazda in 16th. Chasing down Sam Roberts in the P51 Mustang. Mazda had a great finish last week. Sam Roberts in the points order, sitting 12th right now ahead of his brother Daniel Roberts. They're actually tied at 38 points. And who's that going off behind him? Is that Tommy Reynolds? That is Tommy Reynolds in the number 7 Viagra MX-5. Going for a bit of a Tokyo drift and really climbing over those rumble strips. He is just half a second behind Jeremy Brio. This is the fight for the silver medal spot. 20 laps to go, and the window has now opened for these drivers. Kobe Roberts getting around Tristan Catania for the 13th position. Catania comes down pit road to get repairs. Ryan Pannell goes off the racetrack, and he jumps immediately to the pits, and the hometown driver in some trouble. Let's see what happened to Lakeville's Ryan Pannell. This is well before here. And this will tell us here. Pannell got moved. Was that Tracy Pannell in the 17? And indeed it was. Pannell just turned into turn number 1 and now getting his repairs. Meanwhile, cousin Cody leading this race with 18 to go this time by Jeremy Brio, 3/4 of a second behind him. Tommy Reynolds sitting in 3rd, and the sun setting even further. And here comes race leader Cody Pannell down pit road. New leader in the number 74 McLaren liveried MX-5. Jeremy Brio takes 18 laps to go. Tommy Reynolds 0.8 of a second behind him, and Massachusetts Tom Sears sits in 3rd, chasing down Sam Roberts in the number, oh, and there goes Sam Roberts just as we're talking about him, the number 15 P51 Mustang Mazda briefly goes off track. Sam Roberts sits in lucky number 13th position. Welcome into the top 5, the Home Depot Mazda of John Honeybrink. He sits 6 seconds ahead of Dan Roberts, who rounds out the top 5 while pit stop cycles open. Close fight for the 10th spot here. DC. Derek Cook in the wrestling-themed MX-5 sits behind Tracy Pannell. Ryan Billy in one of those white Red Bull Mazdas making the move. Is he going to try and get a 2-for-1? Black Friday deals do not start early for Ryan Billy, and he misses out on the 2-for-1 special. It was a long shot, but now here he goes for Tracy Pannell, who goes off the racetrack right into left-hander. Tracy skating far too wide and off the course, losing tons of position. Luckily for Tracy, Kobe Roberts in one of 2 K&N MX-5s sits 12th, and the lead shrinks from a cushy 9 seconds down to 5. Tom Sears now inherits the lead, and he becomes the new leader as Jeremy Brio comes down pit road behind Tommy Reynolds, both of them dropping out of the top 3. That's going to put John Honeybrink in second, D-Rob in third in the Monster Energy Mazda. Then you've got Steven Downton in that shiny, pretty Wins number 54 MX-5 up into the 4th position. During these cycles, he's moved up 14 spots from where he started tonight's race. As the pit stops cycle around, let's ride along in the Wins MX-5. This is 4th place, Steven Downton. Tom Sears comes down pit road. Just approximately over 1 minute is what it takes these drivers to get around Lime Rock Park. Steven Downton still in third, obviously has not come down to take his pit stop just yet. Neither has Dan Roberts, neither has John Honeybrink, running third, second, and first respectively. And those 3, the only drivers yet to pit here at Lime Rock Park. Meanwhile, in 4th, Jeremy Brio has the provisional lead, 4 seconds ahead of Tommy Reynolds. Brio spending 18 seconds in his pit. Tommy Reynolds spending 22 seconds, a difference of about 0.3, 18.72 to be exact for Brio, 22.1 to be exact for Tommy Reynolds, so a difference of just under 0.4 of a, just under 4 seconds with 15 laps to go. You all know my math is terrible. But the top 3 remains Jeremy Brio, 4 seconds behind 3rd place Steven Downton, and now lap cars in his way. As you can see, the lights have come on at Lime Rock Park, but not the track lights, obviously, the car lights, as the sun sets and the cars shine a bit brighter under the orange skies of Connecticut. D-Rob has decided to take in the view from pit lane, and the number 30 Monster Energy MX-5 will leave pit road with the freshest tires yet, coming down on lap 21, 2 laps after Tom Sears came down pit road. Then Steven Downton, now up 16 places, moves into the 2nd position, but our race leader, John Honeybrink, taking his sweet time enjoying the sights. Terry Gabbard in the Crash Test MX-5 sitting 15th. The Ohio native still soldiering on, giving it everything he's got, and that's the fighting spirit that we love and that we admire from these drivers. Leader Honeybrink has come down pit road. Does Stephen Downton follow suit? Now out of the West Bend and through the downhill section. Downton stays out. He will come to 14 laps to go. Downton staying out. How long will he stretch this fuel? He's got to be at the end of his tank. Jeremy Brio 3 seconds behind, and at this point Downton has to be gambling on a late race caution. Cody Pannell 3.5 seconds behind him. Pannell spending 24 seconds in the pits while Brio spent 18.75 seconds in the pits. A difference of almost 6 seconds between these drivers. What adjustments did Brio not make that Pannell and Reynolds did make? And how is it going to help out Pannell? Because Cody Pannell has already gotten around Tommy Reynolds, who spent 2 seconds in the pits fewer than Pannell. Stephen Downton, as Cody Pannell gets into second, what's gone to Brio? The 74 of Jeremy Brio's gone off the racetrack, poised to get the lead after pits have cycled through. Stephen Downton has now come down pit road, and in the West Bend, Jeremy Brio goes off racetrack. The points leader in deep trouble now. Brio hits the curb and spins it one more time. Brio was already damaged before this. Let's have a look. Running this one back, let's see where Brio took his lump earlier in that 74. You can see one side of that car sagging heavily. Jumping the curb. That's the sound we heard right there, jumping the curb. Have a look. And actually, we'll take a rear chase look here. Don't want to take any more time. But have a look and listen to Brio's car when he hits that curb. Just hit it twice and it's ruined the suspension. Brio hits the curb on the subsequent corner and spins that car around, and these curbs finally biting back, and they have had enough abuse. Cody Pannell leading this race by half a second over Tommy Reynolds. Tom Sears sits in the 3rd position now, the Massachusetts native. Will he be able to pull off his, a win here? He's only 2.75 seconds behind Tommy Reynolds. Stephen Downton coming out of pit road in the 8th position. Points leader Jeremy Brio back on full song, sitting in the 8th spot. 2.5 seconds ahead of Derek Cook and chasing down Samuel Roberts in 7th. Ten laps to go now for these Mazdas. Cody Pannell 0.3 seconds ahead of Tommy Reynolds. Here's the fight for that lead. Tom Sears finds himself 4 seconds adrift of the top 2. Pannell now under siege from Reynolds. The number 7 Viagra MX-5 around the outside of the West Bend into the downhill section. Keeps his foot hard in it, and he's got the lead through downhill onto Posey Straight. Tommy Reynolds leading with 9 laps to go. Here comes Pannell trying to get one back around the outside into Big Bend. Headed into left-hander, Reynolds runs wide and cuts Pannell off. Now the gap, half a second between these drivers with 8.75 laps remaining. Cody Pannell back on the attack. Let's have a look, lest we miss some action between these two. Let's get through the uphill section, but I want to have another look at that brilliant pass. And there goes Cody Pannell back to the front around Tommy Reynolds. Will Reynolds get his back around West Bend? Answer is no. Let's have a look at Cody Pannell's pass for the lead. Absolute poetry headed into, and look at that Reynolds almost giving up the spot there. Let's have a look at Tommy Reynolds' pass around Cody. Incredible close quarter action. 8 laps to go. The 28 Red Bull machine of Cody Pannell leads the number 7 Viagra MX-5 of Tommy Reynolds. And in the K&N entry, it's Tom Sears who sits in third, 17.5 seconds ahead of Kobe Roberts, the other K&N machine, and not a bad run for Team K&N. Talk about third and fourth in the dying embers of tonight's event. Tristan Catania now hard behind Ryan Pannell, running in the 18th position. Both of these drivers not fighting for position, but still giving it everything they've got. Good to see the fighting spirit still on, but Catania fighting this driver right here, Tracy Pannell, in the number 17 Red Bull car. Catania jumping over that curb, but not damaged as of yet. We've seen it bite a couple drivers tonight, and coming to 7 laps to go, Catania looks for the inside line, and he gives up a lot of time to Lakeview's Ryan Pannell. Even more time to his 12th place rival, Tracy Pannell. Patrick Allen, who's forgotten it's not spooky season anymore, but the Halloween spirit lives on with the number 45 MX-5, sitting in 11th place right now, losing mounds of time to Tracy Pannell, who's only 3 seconds back. But look at Ryan working the back end of Tracy, and there goes Tracy for a bit of a spill through the corner, lost it again. Let's have a look and see what caused Tracy Pannell to go off the racetrack. And a bit of help from Ryan Pannell. And there's Tristan Catania with nowhere to go, just gets into the back end of Tracy. Heavy damage to the front of the Need for Speed Most Wanted. 48 now behind Tracy Pannell. Daniel Roberts in the 30, sitting in 14th. Tracy Pannell sitting in 13th. At the front, half a second remains between Cody Pannell and Tommy Reynolds. Only half a second, and now down to 4/10, headed through the no-name straight and into uphill. Cody Pannell must be careful not to suffer the same fate as Jeremy Brio. Brio's worked his way back up to 7th in full chat coming out of the downhill corner onto the Sam Posey straight. Brio finds himself 4 seconds ahead of Roberts, 17 seconds ahead of Ryan Billy, who's all over the back end of the identically colored Tracy Pannell in the number 17 machine. Not for position. Billy just trying to get around lap cars and get a chance at John Honeybrink, who sits in 5th. Tizzy says, Pannell on Pannell crime. And Tommy Reynolds gets around Cody Pannell for the lead. New leader with 5 laps to go. Let's see how he's done it. Pannell running wide through the first corner, getting onto the grass, possibly trying to line up the pass around lapped car. Stephen Downton, the 54 of Downton, still ahead of this top 2 fight. Reynolds, Pannell up the uphill section. Terry Gabbard has crashed in the 15th spot. And the number 4 crash test Mazda MX-5 up the hill slowly but surely. Tommy Reynolds still leading. Cody Pannell 1 second behind. Pannell trying to psych himself up. He's got 4 more laps around Lime Rock. 6 more miles before he will see the end of this race. Pannell sits in 3rd. Tommy Reynolds sitting 18th in the point standings. Luckily for Tommy Reynolds, it's only a 10-point gap between 18th and 12th, so if Reynolds can stay on the racetrack, he'll have an awesome leapfrog up the track. Ryan Billy has just gone off the racetrack. Billy, sitting in the 6th position, has an off in the closing moments. Hit that curb just a bit too eager and saves the car from smashing that quite solid tire barrier. 1 second, the difference between Reynolds and Pannell, coming to 3 laps to go. Is that damage? Is that damage? No, oh goodness me, that's Derek Cook, who's just gone around. It sounded like a car had wrecked, and it was indeed a car that went around the 38 of DC. Derek Cook goes around right in front of Tommy Reynolds. Let's have a look. With 2.5 to go, the leader's off the track, headed down No Name. Multiple cars going off the racetrack. Stephen Downton's gone off. Tommy Reynolds has gone off. Multiple cars involved. Let's take a look. That was, I believe, Derek Cook that went off ahead of the leaders. Run it back one more time. Half a second between the leaders as they run, coming to 2 to go. And that was the 7 of Tommy Reynolds who got ahead of Derek Cook. Reynolds still leading with 3 miles remaining in this race. Cody Pannell just trying to clip the grass, headed into the down the Samposi Straight into Big Bend. Riding along now with Good Hope, Georgia's Cody Pannell. Will he put the bumper to Reynolds? The lights shining through the mirror of Tommy Reynolds. Reynolds is off the racetrack with 1.5 laps to go. Drag race down No Name straight into uphill. Pannell with the advantage. Both cars avoid contact. Pannell, the loser, through the uphill section. White flag this time by. Pannell looking for the advantage, headed into Big Bend. Enter player 3. Tom Sears joins the fight for the lead. Pannell out of Big Bend through the downhill section. White flag is out this time by the top 3 within 0.6 of a second, fighting for the win at Lime Rock Park. Into turn number 1, Tommy Reynolds leading Cody Pannell by fewer than 0.2. Pannell, will he give him the old boot scootin' boogie through Big Bend? Pannell gives him a bit of a bump and run and finds his way through left-hander, now into right-hander. Reynolds goes around and his race is over. Tom Sears into 2nd place, 1 1/3 seconds behind Georgia's Cody Pannell, out of the right-hander, down No Name straight. Tommy Reynolds still in 3rd, motionless, slammed by Derek Cook for no apparent reason. Cody Pannell ahead of Tom Sears, wondering what's happening to Derek Cook and Tommy Reynolds at this point, who won't finish this race. Cody Pannell ahead of Tom Sears by 1.1 seconds, out of Big Bend through the downhill section. It'll be a win for Georgia's Cody Pannell in a thrilling last lap at Lime Rock Park. Tom Sears gets the 2nd place finish. Kobe Roberts will finish in 3rd. Questions as to why the 7 of Tommy Reynolds was destroyed before Reynolds had a chance to finish his race. Cody Pannell winning tonight's event. Reynolds still motionless. Tizzy452 says, Tom on Tom, crime as well. Let's go back and see Cody Pannell's pass on Tommy Reynolds for the lead. He may not have given him the bumper. Let's have another look. No, Reynolds just went wide. Tommy Reynolds just went wide in turn number 1. And your race winner, Cody Pannell, will join Tom Sears and John Honeybrink, who gets the third place finish. What a way for Tom Sears to get his podium. John Honeybrink finishing third. And the number 28 Red Bull Mazda MX-5 of Cody Pannell gets tonight's victory. Don't go anywhere, friends. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a few moments. Back on the podium in this third round of action, we're going to start with our second place finisher, Tom Sears. Almost a bit of a homecoming for you, Tom. You managed to get second place in Mazda Mondays, man. Did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a fast car. I practiced a lot. Those guys were battling up there for a long time, and I was able to catch up on them on the slow parts of the track. And then at the last lap there, I really caught up to them. And, I came off the corner. I arced it in pretty good because I saw what their line was going to be. And I came through the corner straight on the outside. And I could be wrong, but it looked like maybe Tommy just was doing his arc and didn't see me. And I feel real bad that I hit him and ruined his race because he had a really good race and a really fast car. So I feel badly about that. But Mazdas are really fun, and Lime Rock's definitely one of my favorite tracks. Thanks for putting this on. And good congrats to Cody. Another win.
Congrats on your third place, Lurkin. We'll see you in a week's time at WeatherTech Laguna Seca.
Yep. See you, man.
Our third place finisher, Mr. John Honeybrink in the number 20 Home Depot MX-5. John, where did that bronze medal finish come from?
I think just consistency, and that was my strategy coming out the gate. Starting 8th, I knew I had to make consistent lap times, have a clean pit road entrance and exit, and just have a clean race. And it ended up paying off, with a third place finish. That was a blast. I had a good time.
Not only did you get a third place finish, but you're now up to seventh in the point standings. You've got 69 points, and you're only 3 back of the 5th place tie between Dustin Painter and Tristan Catania, man. Best of luck next week at Laguna Seca.
Thanks, Rick.
Our race-winning interview brought to you by the good folks over at DI9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DI9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code DI9 Designs for free shipping on your diecast and merch orders over $20 on CircleBDiecast.com. And now the winner. driver of the number 28 Red Bull Mazda MX-5 with his first win this season. He joins Thomas Andrews and Jeremy Brio as winners. Cody Pannell, what a way to get that win.
Man, I mean, what a hell of a battle there between myself and Tommy for most of that race. And even Jeremy in the beginning until he got the suspension damage and had to pit. But man, I just can't say enough about Tommy and the race that we had. We ran each other clean the entire time, I felt like. And going down the straightaway on that last lap, I just tried to set him up for the crossover going into one, and it worked perfectly, better than I imagined. And then unfortunately, him and Tom had some contact there. It looked like it pretty much all but ruined his race. But up to that point, man, what a race!
And now leaving Lime Rock Park, headed next week to WeatherTech Laguna Seca, you have an 18-point lead at the top of the tree over Jeremy Brio. Brio with 102 points, Tom Sears with 86 points in the third position. So now we're on the back nine of this 6-race stretch, 18 points lead into Laguna Seca. You're not very familiar with Laguna Seca, but can you make it 2 wins in a row?
I'm a fan of Laguna Seca. I think that I can have a pretty decent run there, but man, these cars are just so. I mean, we run fixed race setups, but it seems like these cars put everybody even more so on a level playing field. So you never know who's going to be fast and who has a chance to win. So I think it'll be interesting. Looking forward to trying to defend my points lead, though.
We'll see you in a week's time, Cody. Congratulations once again on the win. Go celebrate.
All right, appreciate it, Rick.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us once again. Another chapter of ARCS Racing in the books, and round 3 from Lime Rock Park comes to a close. I want to thank Tom Sears, John Honeybrink, and Cody Pannell for joining us in the booth. Of course, DI9 Designs, but most importantly, you, the fans, for once again tuning in. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 9, is going to be another Tuesday doubleheader. 8:10 p.m., the TRS Modifieds, and then 9:30, we've got DI9 Designs turned down for what? Xfinity from Atlanta. Until then, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see